Hi there, my name is Noel, and I teach about meditation as a universal practice, which also finds unique expression in the Christian tradition. Now, in this video, we will continue to reflect on the depth of meaning behind the prayer that Christians often say before meditation. So, let's go. The second sentence of the prayer we say before meditation reads, "Lead us into that mysterious silence where your love is revealed to all who call." And today, I'd like us to reflect on the phrase, "where your love is revealed." The first thing to note is what it is that meditation reveals to us. It reveals God's love for each one of us. And as we have mentioned before, this is heart knowledge, not head knowledge. It's an entirely different way of knowing beyond the mind, beyond rational thinking. You might say that this kind of knowing is really spiritual knowing. It is personal spiritual experience. And because the church doesn't often talk about personal spiritual experience, we very often don't recognize it when it happens to us. Spiritual experience is very ordinary, not extraordinary. It's not necessarily an out-of-this-world experience of bliss, but a growing realization of who we really are at the deepest level of our being. Typically, it occurs in fleeting glimpses, moments of insight, when we briefly experience our true self and we apprehend something of the depth of reality. Much of religious education is in fact religious instruction, teaching about the beliefs and doctrines, the rituals, customs, rites, and roles of a particular religion. And there is, of course, a need for that. But there is also, I would say, a more urgent need to help people to explore their innate spirituality through practices that promote personal spiritual experience. The theologian Michael Paul Gallagher expressed this need as follows. He said, and I quote, "Spirituality comes before theology. If faith is not an experience of encounter, we have little to reflect on except the words of others, and they will ring hollow unless touched by personal fire." Unquote. It may help us to think about spirit as the flame on a candle. Have you ever tried to walk while holding a candle? If you have, you will realize that the movement often snuffs out the candle, because when we move too quickly, to the candle, the sudden movement through the air is just like someone blowing out a candle, for example, on a birthday cake. So to keep a candle lit, it is best to be still. Now, that's not a bad way of appreciating the need for stillness in meditation. The aim in meditation is to find a space where our spirit can be still and receptive to the Holy Spirit. So imagine both of them as candles, and imagine that what happens in meditation is that the flame of the Holy Spirit lights up our spirit. One candle lights the other. I think that metaphor helps us to understand how we become energized by grace as we meditate. Now, of course, when one candle lights another, the first does not lose its energy, but now, suddenly, you have greater brightness and double the energy burning within. Love is like that. The more love is poured out, the more it replenishes itself. It's like dropping a stone in a still pond. The ripples grow outward, extending in all directions. When we experience this love in meditation, it reawakens and reignites our spirit so that it burns more brightly, shines more clearly. I think that image also helps us to understand how we are intimately linked with the divine. Once a candle is lit, its flame looks just like that of the candle which lit it. Ultimately, there is nothing to distinguish one flame from the other. When we say your love is revealed, we mean not just that we encounter God in meditation, even if at a level of consciousness deeper than ordinary self-consciousness, but we also come to apprehend that it is not just that God is mysteriously in us, but that we are also mysteriously in God. And we understand that this is true, not just for me, but for all of creation. And since each one of us is a unique manifestation of the love of God, ultimately that means we are all one, irrespective of our background, gender, color, or faith. I invite you now to spend some time in the stillness and silence of meditation, where you can begin to experience that truth for yourself.